Solve the absolute value of 2x minus 1 is equal to 5. This one is more complicated than the problems we looked at before because it's not just the absolute value of x equals 5. We have the absolute value of a whole expression, 2x minus 1 equals 5. Whenever we have a situation like this, where we have the absolute value of an expression equals a number, like the absolute value of an expression equals 5, we know that there are two possible ways that this could happen. Either the expression has a value of 5, in which case we would have the absolute value of 5 equals 5, or that expression could have a value of negative 5, in which case the absolute value of negative 5 is also 5. So in a situation like this, we actually split it up into two different equations. We said first the expression could have a value of 5. That's one way that this would work out. And then the other is if the expression had a value of negative 5. And that's exactly what we're going to do with this equation. But instead of the word expression, we're going to put the expression in these equations. So let's see what that gives us. I'm going to rewrite it down here. The absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 5. Well, there are two possible ways that that could happen. First, this 2x minus 1 could be equal to 5. If 2x minus 1 was equal to 5, then we would have the absolute value of 5, which is 5. And then the other situation would be if that expression, 2x minus 1, is equal to negative 5, because then we would have the absolute value of negative 5, which also equals 5. We can see that this models what we did just a moment ago, except instead of using the word expression when we were splitting up the equation into two, we actually wrote the expression that was inside the absolute values. And now that we've split up the equation, we can solve each of these individual equations for x. For the first one, we can add 1 to both sides, which gives us 2x equals 6. And then to get x alone, we divide by 2, and that gives us x equals 3. For the other equation, again, we can add 1 to both sides. But in this case, that gives us 2x equals negative 4. And then when we divide both sides by 2, we end up with x equals negative 2. And so our two solutions are x equals 3 or x equals negative 2. Just like the problems we saw before, we will usually have two solutions. And in this case, those solutions are x equals 3 or x could be negative 2. If you want to check, you can check by plugging each of those into the original equation. I'm going to do that for this example just so we can see that this method works. Let's check x equals 3. We've got the absolute value of 2 times x, which we said is 3, minus 1, and we hope that this equals 5. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so that's going to be the absolute value of 6 minus 1, and 6 minus 1 is 5. And we know that the absolute value of 5 is equal to 5, so that's correct. And then we can also check x equals negative 2. If we plug in negative 2 for x, we get the absolute value of 2 times negative 2 minus 1 equals 5. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So inside the absolute value, we have negative 4 minus 1. And negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So we have the absolute value of negative 5 equals 5, which we also know is true. In fact, by checking this, we can see that x equals 3 was the particular value that gave us a 5 inside the absolute value to give us the true equation, the absolute value of 5 equals 5. And the other solution, x equals negative 2, was the particular value of x that we could plug in to give us a negative 5 inside the absolute value. And we know that the absolute value of negative 5 is also equal to 5. So these are the particular values of x that make our expressions equal to 5 or negative 5 And this makes us happy because it gives us a true equation. And this is the method that we're going to be using in general. If we have the absolute value of some expression equals a number, so long as it's a positive number, we can split it up into these two equations where either the expression equals the number or the expression equals the negative version of the number. If we have the absolute value of an expression equals 0, that's going to be a situation where there's only one solution, and we'll see that a little bit later. And then if we have the absolute value of an expression equals a negative number, we know that that's when there's going to be no solution, because it's not possible to take the absolute value of something and get a negative number as a result. So keep an eye out for those different situations as we move through example problems.